High school can be a tough time, especially when close to the end of the year when you're a senior. It's a stressful time. You're trying to get all of your assignments done, all your classes passed. You're worrying about graduation and college, and stress begins to build very quickly. And that's where our conflict begins. Hi, my name is Joshua Goff. I am currently a second year college student and am in communication. And I will be talking about how communication made my last few weeks in high school a lot more difficult than it should have been. Um, Communication can either greatly improve your life or really not. My conflict kind of begins at the beginning of the year with my senior year English teacher. I'll call her Mrs. K. Um, from the very beginning of the year, it was very apparent that Mrs. K enjoyed picking favorites for students. If you were one of her chosen people, you would get the assignments you wanted to do. You'd get to read the books you wanted to do. You got to not do the assignments you wanted to do. It was a very large bias that was very present in the school. And it really annoyed a lot of the other classmates that, including me, that were not in this selected few. And with senior year wrapping up, we were given our final writing paper, which was on a book that nobody cared about. And it was very geared towards this specific group of students. And this is kind of where our conflict begins to boil up. And it was when I decided to come to her after class and talk about why I thought that this class was being unfair. Looking back at it, I was probably extremely disrespectful. My body language was extremely aggressive, and my tone of voice was probably very hostile because of everything that was going on with stress and just all this buildup of unfairness throughout the year. And so when I, as a senior, am thinking I'm just proposing a new, an alternate assignment or something that way everybody can feel included and have a decent experience, came out as extremely disrespectful and argumentative. And because of that, I began to see her reflect that behavior by interrupting me, raising her voice, copying my aggressive body language, a very aggressive listening style of conversation or conflict. Now, if I had entered the conversation calmly and respectfully, the outcome may have been different, and I may have ended up getting the assignment change I wanted, but that's not what went down, and I ended up getting sent to the principal's office, and the class did not change, and I had to just push through that assignment. Um, so throughout this whole ordeal, we kind of see this understanding of body language and verbal and nonverbal communication, which is something that is largely talked about in the UALR Survival Study Guide. And we see, and so there's a couple of things that looking back, I wish that I would have done differently. I could have, instead of barged in and said, this is what we need to do, I could have gone for maybe a compromise or showed restraint, calmness. I could have tried to be more respectful or set up an appointment with her. That way I could calm down and get my point across without being aggressive. And in return, she probably wouldn't have been as aggressive towards me. Um, and so this really hammers down my point of communication can be used to make our lives easier or rougher. Um, it's this idea that um, it's this whole idea of give and take with compromise, and it's a similar idea with communication, where I'm aggressive, you're aggressive. I'm calm, you're calm. And it really shows how much I learned this year that I'm able to look back and understand that. Um, Again, high school is a rough time for graduating senior, and there's a lot of stress and all the stuff piled up. And if I would have used communication in a calm and collective manner, or used a lot of the concepts that I've learned throughout the year, I would have been able to possibly avoid a lot of the conflicts throughout the year, including this final major one, which kind of put a damper on my entire senior year. And that's all I've got.